The playoff final is almost here. Sheffield United versus Sunderland on the 24th of May at 3 p.m. That's now been confirmed. And we wanted to know what the neutral fans think. No bias, that means no blades, no black cats, just honest predictions from across the league. We've got videos from far and wide, and even one from a Sheffield Wednesday fan, but I'm not sure how neutral that one's going to be. Who's going up? Who's staying down? Let's find out.
So my name's Dan, the presenter of the Wednesday Week podcast, and I've been asked by your lads to talk about who's going to win in the playoff final between Sunderland and it's difficult because obviously on one hand, I wish you all the worst and I want you to stay in this terrible league that we're in and, enjoy the plaudits that come with playing against Wrexham. I miss the derbies, even though I hate them at the same time. But the issue, on the other hand, is that they're damned if they do and damned if they don't, from our perspective, right? So if they stay down, it's, you stay down. And if you go up, it's, look at you with all your parachute payment money. I quite like dying on that hill, and I'd rather you get out the way so we can continue with our own plight. What will happen at Wembley, though, if I speak from a football pundit type of way, is that Sunderland have been dining out on their early season form for about 4 months now. Had it not been for that big gap that they managed to get at the beginning of the season, I think they'd have struggled for playoffs. And what Chris will do will absolutely bore everybody to death like he did at Hillsbury. Will temper the game, take 40 seconds for goal kicks, a minute and a half for corners, 20 seconds for throw-ins, and he'll do all that just to slow those Sunderland fans down. So heart ruling Head, I want you to get battered. But Head, I feel like you might do him. God, I hate saying that. I've just now said it out loud. That's rubbish.
Now then, 𝗤𝗏𝗏 and all the gang at Sheffield United way. The last time I did one of these, I said, good luck, because you'll need it. And it didn't come in for you, did it? How sweet it is. Look, we beat you to promotion this time. Absolutely buzzing. Absolutely buzzing. But listen, that's not why I'm here, is it? I'm here to give you a prediction ahead of the playoff final between yourselves and Sunderland. Now, I'm a Yorkshire boy. I live in Sunderland. So I wouldn't mind them winning it, if I'm being totally honest. Because it'd be good for the city that I live in. It's a bit The flip side of that, I don't mind Sheffield United. And it'd be nice to have a Yorkshire derby back in the Premier League. And I also like you guys. But I genuinely, it's nip and tuck. You've got two teams here that have contested 17, I believe, playoff games. And only one win in all that time between you both. That's insane. If that's finals or whatever, you'll have to fact check me. But I just know you are the worst team. And Sunderland ain't far behind. I thought we were bad, but it turns out yours a lot worse. It's really difficult to call. 𝗤𝗏𝗏 has played a blinder by resting players. You've had your drop, but then a flying. You beat Bristol City quite comfortably. I think the lineup that he's selected in them 2 games is decent. I do like Brooks. It's good seeing him getting some more game time. O'Hare's looking decent off the bench. I think Wilder's got you. The best 11 in the last 2 games. Whether or not he overthinks it, I don't think he should. It's going to be a really good game, though. Good contest. The likes of Bellingham, 𝗤𝗏𝗏 up against 𝗤𝗏𝗏, Vinny Souza and co. I think it's going to go all the way. Genuinely. I think both sides will defend pretty well. I think it's going to be a penalty shootout, and it literally will be a flip of the coin. And because you have the worst record, I think Sunderland will beat you on penalties. Which is going to be brutal if that happens, because obviously next season in the Championship, damn, it's going to be tough. Birmingham, Wrexham and co, those coming down, and the likes of Coventry and whoever doesn't win this, it ain't going to be easy. But look, Leeds managed to do it second time around, and I think Sheffield United might end up also second time around. But yeah, sorry, I wish I could be more positive. But it's going all the way to penalties. It'll probably be a stink fest, and Sunderland beat you on pens. Sorry.
Sheffield United versus Sunderland. Who do I think is going to win promotion to the Premier League? I'm going to go with the Blades. I feel like throughout this season, Sheffield United have definitely won games where they haven't been at their very best. They've just produced that one moment of quality and they've walked away with the 3 points. And in a playoff final, when things don't go your way, one, you need to stay in it, and two, still be able to produce that one moment of quality. And I do think Sheffield United, they've got the players in order to do that. I think they've got more quality compared to that Coventry team that just lost against Sunderland in the last minute in the semi-finals. And Coventry, they dictated the game in both matches, in both legs. They controlled possession and Sunderland looked to hit them on the counter. And I do think the final might go quite similar to that, where Sheffield United, they will control possession of the ball, try and break Sunderland down, and Sunderland will look to hit them on the counter. But I don't honestly see many goals happening in this final. Both teams evenly matched, but I feel like that extra bit of quality which Sheffield United have is going to have an advantage in this final. So 1-0 to Sheffield United.
Hello, Nick. Hello, Hal. Hello to all of you guys on the Sheff United way. Nick's asked me to record a little video here talking about the playoff final, and, you know, it's a pleasure to do so. I love you guys over at the Sheff United way. Now, who do I think will win in the playoff final? Well, that's quite clear. It's Sheffield United. I'm pretty confident that you guys will pick up the win and gain promotion to the Premier League. Why do I think that? Well, just look at the playoff semi-final. You absolutely tore Bristol City apart. And the reason you did that is because your squad is too good for the championship, in my honest opinion. You know, just like Leeds last season, the reason that you haven't gone up automatically is because, you know, of the relegated teams, you know, and obviously I'm going to class Leeds United in that because they were relegated 2 seasons ago and they only didn't get up because of how strong Leicester were and Southampton, of course. So that's why I think ultimately you will win the playoff final. I just think your squad is too good. We know a couple of your players very well. Hamza Chowdhury, who's having a great time at right back for you guys at the moment. Tom Cannon, who's not quite setting it alight, but I'm sure there's more to come from him. Sunderland, they have a very good championship squad. They have a very good manager, but I just think you guys will edge it. I think you've got too much quality for them. What I will say, though, and I'm sorry to say this, is I wish you were staying down because I would love to have many, many, many hours of shows next season with Hal and with you, Nick, as well. But yeah, I do think you're going up, and, you know, what comes next for you in the Premier League, that's another story. But yeah, take care, guys. Wish you all the luck in the world. And remember, if you don't quite do it, at least you'll have 2 battles against Leicester City next season to look forward to.
Hello viewers, Nick Hart from Acton, Millwall here. Well, as you can see, it's summertime for us Millwall fans is all about idyllic garden living, none of this playoff drama. But as it is, we've got 2 teams in the playoff final, 2 decent sides in my opinion. Sheffield United, for me, look by far the stronger of the 2 units, but it is a one-off game, so you know you can't really judge the semi-finals performances and take those into a Wembley final, because anything's possible there, isn't it? I like Sheffield United. I think it's a great ground. It's a potentially a good Premier League level setup there. Whether the squad's good enough to survive long in the Premier League, I somehow doubt. As we've seen now, modern football isn't kind to promoted teams, and they're probably in danger of being one of the new breed of shuttle clubs. But I fancy them in the final just in terms of sheer strength of squad. Sunderland did well to get past Coventry, of course, but it's a much closer run thing. So my head is telling me Sheffield United. My heart's telling me Sheffield United, because I always think a trip to Bramall Lane's one of the great football events. But that's not to dismiss Sunderland, another club that have a deserved place in the football canon. But if you're going to ask me to call it, I'm going to say Sheffield United by 2 goals, 2-0 Sheffield.
When looking ahead to the Championship playoff final between Sheffield United and Sunderland, as a neutral it seems very difficult to come to any other conclusion, but Sheffield United are going to win the tie. They went into the playoffs as overwhelming favourites with regards to finishing so far ahead of 4th, 5th and 6th, and they did nothing to dispel that quality that they showed throughout the season in the comfortable victory over Bristol City over both legs. Sunderland came in obviously on a poor run of form, but they did show something that they hadn't shown for a little while, and that's some real grit in the team, real determination and real will to not lose and to get through the tie. And I thought they did well in that regard. But when you actually looked at the games against Coventry on a sort of quality wise, I didn't think they probably deserved to go through. And if they did, it's probably maybe that Coventry didn't ask them enough questions when they set themselves up the way that they did. I don't see Sheffield United doing the same there, and I see the only real route to victory for Sunderland is to be a similar game plan to the semis: sit back, try and hit on the break, and try and repel anything that comes towards the goal. But I just think Sheffield United will ask far too many questions for that, and with the quality they've got on display, then it should be as comfortable of a victory as you can imagine in a playoff final. Even if Sunderland do break through and have some chance on the counter, you're up against a sort of fantastic central pair of defenders and, other than James Trafford, the best goalkeeper in the league, and 𝗏𝗽liche Cooper. I think all over the pitch when you've got Gus Hamer, Andre Brooks, and then Callum O'Hare as options and things off the bench, I just don't see a way that Sunderland can keep out Sheffield United in the way that they were able to keep out Coventry so successfully over the period. And whilst I know Sheffield United have got a terrible record at Wembley, I don't think Chris Wilder will be thinking about this, and hopefully the Sheffield United fans aren't either, and they can celebrate at the sort of come 5 o'clock on the day.
Well, unfortunately for me, it probably is the two most deserving sides in the final. Sheffield United and Sunderland have been miles better than 5th and 6th over the course of the season, and the two teams who, coming into this playoff campaign, have wrapped up so many more points than everyone else. I just deserve it completely. In terms of this playoff final, from Sheffield United, we saw dominance. Again, at my expense, dominance. We saw real class about them. And from the 4 times we've played Sheffield United this season, 2 of the best performances did come in both the playoff semi-final legs, which just shows maybe they've got a knack of just turning up for the big games. You know, big game players like Callum O'Hare scoring twice on the bench, Gustavo Harmer in particular, Vinny Souza, so calm, so assured in midfield. Players like that just maybe having a little bit more about them. Sunderland, though, have got game changers in equal measure. You know, you're looking at Isidore Mayenda, who's just got ability to turn on when he can, and 𝗟𝗟. This should be a really good game. I expect it to be relatively very tight, actually, very tight. And, we saw from Sunderland a really solid defensive structure, which they've been building up sort of throughout the season, getting better at, as we've seen, and some real tactical sort of tweaks from 𝗬𝗲𝗓 𝗏𝗏, especially in that first leg where they had to absorb the pressure, and they did so well and hit them on the break twice and scored twice. They're 2 very efficient teams, and 2 teams, if you're given, you don't want to give chances away to, because probably will punish you. I think it'll be 1-1 in normal time. I think it will probably go to extra time, which is not going to be fun for 2 sets of supporters who have endured Wembley heartache before and playoff heartache before. I think it's going to be, I think it might be Sheffield United on pens, and they might well do it in extra time, but I think it'll be Sheffield United on penalties after 1-1 draw in normal time.
Hope you're all well. I'm here to give my prediction on the playoff final between Sheffield United and Sunderland. And now, as a Middlesbrough supporter, you know where this is probably going, to be honest. I think Sheffield United will win the playoff final because of my sheer hatred for Sunderland. I'm talking, of course, but I do think Sheffield United have a lot more quality going into the final. And they also have form on their side, which I think plays a massive part in the playoffs as well. A team who is really hot in form and scoring goals and have had a really good playoff campaign will have the edge going into the game. Now, I do see this game as where Sunderland will sit off and play in that low block like they have been doing over the last couple of games, and that will frustrate Sheffield United. And when I've watched Sheffield United this year, when they have a lot of possession, I think they struggle to break teams down a lot. And I think that's reflected really with the Oxford and the Millwall and the Plymouth game, when there was 3 defeats that you had back in a row, where it was over 70% possession when you had it. But I still think you can break them down, and I think it's going to be a very low scoring final. 1 goal should do it, and I'm going to go with a 1-0 win to Sheffield United, because they will have pinned Sunderland in, and Sunderland won't be able to get out of their own box. Similarly with how they did against Coventry until those dying seconds when 𝗏𝗏𝗏 scored the winner. But best of luck, of course. I hope the nerves aren't too bad, Ollie, and we'll speak to you soon. Cheers.
Hi guys, it's Jake here from Rams Talk Podcast, and looking ahead to the Championship playoff final. Been to a few, won 1, lost 2. Great when you win, horrendous when you lose. So I'm wishing you all the best ahead of the weekend. And yeah, Sunderland, good side. But the thing is, Sheffield United are also a very good side, and that's where I think it's going to be really tight. It's going to be really cagey. I think Sheffield United have that little bit more going forwards. You've got a couple of different dimensions there that maybe Sunderland don't have. But I've found in the past that when a team steamrolls the first and second leg, you're going in, you've just won 6-0 on aggregate, there can be a little bit of complacency going into that final. We saw it with Derby when we played QPR. We went into that final kind of maybe expecting to win a little bit, and it didn't work, and we ended up losing the game. So for that reason, I think Sunderland might have a little bit of an extra edge there, because that last-minute winner that they got will go a long way. It'll give them a lot of momentum. It'll give them a lot of belief, and they'll really think that they can get that smash and grab at Wembley, knowing probably full well that they're nowhere near the levels as a side overall as Sheffield United are. So I still think Sheffield United will win. I think it'll be tight. It may probably even be on penalties. I don't think 90 minutes is going to separate the two teams. So, yeah, I think Sheffield United will probably win on penalties, erase the demons of the past when you've lost on penalties in playoff campaigns before, and get yourselves back up into the Premier League, and hopefully get less than 11 points. That'd be really nice. So yeah, hopefully you go up, but I'm not wishing you too much luck for the season ahead.
So there you have it. Most of the neutrals are back in the Blades. We might be favourites, but as we all know, it's a one-off game, 90 minutes at Wembley. Anything can happen. But let's hope they're right and Sheffield United finally get it done on our 10th playoff attempt. A huge thanks to everybody that sent in their predictions. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, and obviously give us your prediction in the comments. Come on, you red and white wizards.
𝗚𝗿𝗲𝗷𝗚. 𝗚𝗿𝗲𝗷𝗚. 𝗚𝗿𝗲𝗷𝗚.